Yo, yo, it's Saturday, 5 after 5. We on Detroit Table Talk. Dro and Carmen on Podcastic.
How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Detroit Table Talk.
It's a lovely day.
It's a lovely day.
Very lovely day.
Our clap was a little late. I don't know what's going on
Give me
today.
1 second.
I came in, my energy was a little low, but we're going to get it together, So today we're going to just, we're going to kind of backpedal, and we're going to talk about something that it seems to be growing over time. So we're going to get into the Me Too movement.
Okay.
So I know that over the course of the Me Too movement, it seems like the line has been moved and the definition has changed along the way. So if we can, we're going to get prepared to show you a video on what initially the Me Too movement was about. And if y'all hear voices in the back, listen, I'm on grandma duty. So it is what it is. They here in the studio and
Y'all understand.
yeah, I didn't ask them to, not talk, but that's not working, so.
Hi, my name's Tarana Burke, and I'm the founder of the Me Too movement. We founded Me Too over a decade ago to support young women of color in the community we live who were survivors of sexual violence. In the years since we started, we've expanded to support adults and people across the gender spectrum who have been holding the trauma of sexual violence for many, many years. Now, since the expansion or explosion of Me Too in 2017, we have a unique opportunity to expand our platform and continue a national conversation around sexual violence in this country and countries around the world. But we want to be clear about what the Me Too movement is about. There's lots of conversation about it being about taking down powerful men or about targeting people, and it's not about any of those things. This is a movement about giving people access to a healing journey, to make sure the most marginalized amongst us have an opportunity to start a pathway to healing from the trauma of sexual violence. It's also a movement about radical community healing. We believe that communities have to come together to make them safe and to protect the most vulnerable people from sexual violence. We do this through two ideas. One is called empowerment through empathy. We believe in the power of empathy to support people. When two people exchange the words Me Too, it is literally an exchange of empathy between people that says, I hear you, I see you, and I believe you. Once people have that, it gives them permission to start a healing journey. And that's what we're about. The other idea is radical community healing. And that means that in all the ways that sexual violence is allowed to flourish in our communities, we want to work against that. Ultimately, this is a movement about eradicating sexual violence. We want to teach people how to lean into their joy so that they can move away from the trauma. And we want to teach people that we can, as a collective, interrupt sexual violence wherever it lives. And we want to do that together. We need everybody doing all the work they can and all the ways they can to interrupt sexual violence. And we invite you to join us.
I know for most of us, we frequent social media, we frequent different platforms on social media, and everyone has had or everyone has seen the hashtag Me Too. Whether you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, or you're on Instagram or other sites.
Not to cut you off, but I remember seeing it on MySpace.
Oh,
back
what?
in the day, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but I think it was like probably 2006.
That's probably around the time that the Me Too movement, initially started.
I believe so.
Like she said, it started out as a way for survivors to just bond and tell their stories of sexual harassment and sexual assault, and also sexual bullying. It was just a way for people to come together to bond. And over the time, we see that the focus primarily have went towards predominantly influential people
Right.
with the Me Too movement. And we don't want survivors to get lost in their stories and them being able to bond and tell, their journey,
Right.
of the Me Too.
Because that's what it's about. It's about it's more about the victim.
Yes, always about the victim.
People like to, us as, I don't know, citizens, I guess. It's like once the crime is committed, and then the perpetrator, he goes on trial, get convicted. Or what they might,
release,
however they do it,
Yeah.
depending on how much money you got or the
Absolutely.
status of the position of your, or status of your position.
Yeah.
Usually when they go to jail or after they go to prison, it's usually forgot about. People
Yeah.
forget about the victim,
Yeah.
and
And that victim's gonna spend
a
if
lifetime
not years, a lifetime.
trying to get over that, trying to get past it
And
you know?
it's not easy.
at all.
It's definitely not easy. And I know that with the Me Too movement, we heard about it, but we didn't really catch on to it until I think in 2013 when Harvey Weinstein was convicted
Yeah.
of the, I want to say
Multiple.
multiple. I think he had, Jesus. He was found guilty of third-degree rape, first-degree criminal sexual conduct on February the 24th, and acquitted him on predatory sexual assault. Weinstein was sentenced to 23 years in prison. 23 years.
To be honest, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's long enough. He probably had more than 23. Then he probably had more than 23 bodies. That's like a year for each body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And try to compare that to the conviction of drug convictions. So
It never compares.
at all.
We talk about Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
Me Too.
Yeah.
We talk about, of course, everybody know R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the lines are always drawn, always, blurred. You have people on both sides.
Exactly.
And although we want it to be, if someone say that they are sexually assaulted or bullied or sexually, manipulated in any form, we want to believe the victim. Or should we automatically believe the victim?
I think.
In the criminal justice system, we say we're innocent until proven guilty.
But that's not always
But
the.
You're
That's not
guilty
always the
until
case.
you're proven innocent.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, before you can be proven innocent, you have lost everything.
Yep.
Because of the opinion of the
public, the media, the slander from the media. I think it's another movement called Him Too.
I've never heard of that.
It's called Him Too, and that's for the male victims of sexual assaults, and as well as, like you were speaking on, the victims. I'm sorry, not the victims, but the people who, the accusers, falsely accused.
Okay.
So, because like you said, at the end of, you trying to prove that you're innocent, you can lose everything.
Everything.
So I think that's a good movement as well, the Him Too movement.
When I struggled, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Although we have the whole Me Too movement, in my life I have been sexually abused, and I have not connected myself to the Me Too movement because I think everybody's reasoning for connecting themselves to the Me Too movement is different.
Right.
And like I say, we've gotten so far away from the actual victim to making it more focus on celebrities and people that, have influence through financial status or whatever. But I tell you, with R. Kelly, I struggled. And I didn't struggle because he wasn't a pedophile. He wasn't what they said he was. Mm-hmm. My struggle was more of, can you still accept the artist part of him versus the predatorial part of him?
Me personally, were you done?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just, right. I just always struggled with Robert being, although the same, being different from R. Kelly. Mm-hmm. The music that he has out has been like a game changer in the music industry.
I
and
agree.
If we really strip the music from him, we have to strip his music across the board, and a lot of artists. And that's why I think a lot of artists didn't jump to say too much, because a lot of his stuff he produced, mm-hmm. he wrote, and a lot of people didn't want. Because a lot of people just don't know all the music that this man has laid out before us.
Yeah,
so I struggled with still listening to his music.
I listen to him. Now, here's the thing. I don't support any type of abuse, whether it's mental, sexual, physical, any type of abuse. Mm-hmm. But when his music is great. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not.
You can't deny the music.
I'm not. People not finna stop watching Harvey Weinstein movies or whatever his name was, because of his charges. People not finna. You know what I'm saying? But
when you talk about Me Too, and although I was a victim, I don't necessarily walk around with the victim mindset, a victim mentality, in a sense where, whenever someone come forth about being victimized, I don't necessarily always jump into the protective mode of the victim.
Right.
Because I've been in the criminal justice system for over 30 years. Mm-hmm. I'm not quick to say who's guilty or who's innocent, because you never know.
That's true.
So you have to give people the opportunity to prove themselves innocent before we label them, before we end their careers.
Start slandering them.
Before, their name is slandered over social media. I think that, in my mindset, waiting until you hear the full story, because there's always two sides to a story.
Yep.
And I know I struggled, and I still struggle today, because let's just face it, a R. Kelly song come on, 9 times out of 10 I'm turning up the music.
That's true.
The volume, and I'm rocking out.
See, the reason why I don't know R. Kelly personally, but I feel like the people who knew him personally and knew that was going on,
exactly,
they should feel some type of way. I know him as an artist.
Yes.
I went back and seen. I heard I heard somebody saying, like, on the cover of 12 Play, mm-hmm. on the album cover, he had a cane with a mirror on the cane at the bottom, so he could like look up at the women's skirts or something like that. I don't know if I didn't see it, but that's what I was hearing. But at the same time, we all knew that R. Kelly, we go back to the Aaliyah days.
See, I struggle with that, and I'm only saying that because, and I'm not gonna put names out because I don't want those individuals to be attacked or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I have close ties with people who were her vocal coach, mm-hmm. Her choreography person, and everybody who say they're innocent is not as innocent as they say they are.
Right.
There was a lot of maneuvering. It was a lot of help in that, that coming, them coming together,
right.
and then getting married you know, and when I say that, it's not limited to her, you know, her parents knowing.
Right.
A lot of times, not until stuff blow up like the way that it is, then it's like, oh no, I didn't want her with him, or I didn't want him with her, and you know, everybody want to remove their hands, you know, after the fact.
Right.
I still question, you know, I watched maybe the first or the second documentary of the R. Kelly thing on Netflix.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And my thing was all the people that said, you know, there were people assigned to go, you know, bring young ladies in, or people who were assigned to his entourage that knew, okay, this person can come in, this person. They knew these young ladies were coming in. And if they had an inkling of the type of man that he was, do they not become a part of these young ladies being misused sexually, mentally?
Here's the thing. What I don't understand is,
and that's including the wife, the ex-wife.
That all parties
you
involved.
can get on TV and say, well, he was this way and that way. How did you know?
Right.
You know, were you a part of it? And
Right.
if you saw it, at what point did you go to law enforcement to report it?
Right.
He told us.
I think they just wanted him. You know what I'm saying?
So forget all the people that was connected to it,
Forget
that was
everybody
accessory
else.
to the crime,
Yeah.
and just said, oh, we just want him.
Because that's all they got. You know what I'm saying? That's all they got.
But wouldn't all of them be considered predatorial?
That should be.
They all was a part of the grooming process.
That's true. I ain't trying to incriminate nobody, but they came and got who they wanted. And that's just what it was right there.
Should have been in jail.
All of them should have been
Yeah.
locked up.
And some parents too.
Yeah, they all was accessories.
A lot of the parents knew what had taken place with the first case that he got off on. And I'm a parent. I mean, I have sons, I don't have daughters, but I'm a parent. There is no way that I would have left my child unattended.
Right.
I don't care what you say, you know, under no circumstance. And I would have kept a tight grip, you know, on what was going on.
Right.
So, and I don't want to take away from, you know, the Me Too and the victims, but I also want to make sure that people
Are held accountable.
understand that they are they're held accountable for their part in these crimes.
Yeah.
If I go to a bank and decide I want to rob a bank, and you drive me there,
I'm going to be an accessory.
you're going to be an accessory.
Exactly. So
You
that's
know?
why I said, you know,
If you drove me to R. Kelly's hotel room
I'm an accessory.
and something happened to me that I didn't want to happen,
I'm just as much to blame as everybody else.
Not everybody like the driver and stuff like that, because he was a producer. So, you know.
no, people just didn't want to lose their source of income,
Yeah,
of
'cause
But
money.
the driver, if you said, oh, bring them, I'm just driving you, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what
He can wiggle out of that. He can get
No,
out of that.
yeah.
Driver can get out of that. Yeah.
Right, you know what I'm
But
saying?
when you pick up a young lady, or when a young lady is dropped off, if you're when I say the driver, maybe let me requote.
The chauffeur.
Not so much the chauffeur, but the person that actually works for R. Kelly.
Right.
When the person is dropped off, wherever they dropped off, there's somebody there to receive that person.
Right.
You know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know the rumors, at least.
Yeah.
You know, so
You know, when people in position of power and got that money, it's like them parents.
Yeah.
Them parents knew what was going down.
And it didn't appear that it was nothing until after the money,
Ran dry.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
and then it was a big thing.
issue.
about,
Yeah.
You know.
And we can piggyback off that to the what is it, Jeffrey Epstein? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was worse. He did it for a very long time.
Over, like, was it 11 years or more?
Yeah, I think the girls was 11 and what, a little bit older than that.
And see,
And that's
does Me Too?
ridiculous.
I'm just asking a question. I don't know.
No, I was just.
No, I'm finna ask you a question.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know. Do the Me Too go all the way back to, what is it, Larry Flynn?
Nah, I don't think it go back there.
You don't think so?
You
What
talking about the movement when it started?
No.
Oh, should it?
Should have went back
Oh,
to.
yes, absolutely.
What about the Playboy Mansion?
I think.
And see,
No.
nah.
That was consented though. I don't think
I don't think-
none of them
Consented.
was-
How do you consent at 12 and
Yeah,
13?
at a young
12
kid.
and
14.
13
Yeah,
Playboys
yeah.
was in there?
Yes.
Oh no, I thought that
Yes.
was wrong.
And it was smooth because he's Hugh.
But not only was he Hugh, he had all kind of dignitaries, leaders, and that
Yeah, but that's the thing.
that participated on a regular basis.
His money never ran out though.
That's what I'm saying.
So
When you're in a
his money,
position.
yeah, I would say his money never ran
So
out.
he always had that hush money,
Right.
you know. And then with the pull that, like you say, the people that was involved with him, they pretty much making the laws, or they're in the power to
Exactly.
make the people
Exactly.
to charge them turn the other cheek.
Right. That's
You know
like
what I'm saying?
That's like a legal brothel he had.
You know, it just makes you wonder. You know what I'm saying? That
It makes me wonder
We can-
how much other sick things are going on out here that we
underground
don't even know
have
about.
no clue about.
And
No clue.
You know, it just came to me today. I mean, just now. But while we talking about this, I think they just caught a guy, a white guy. No offense, a Caucasian guy, with a child in the car.
Wow.
I ain't really, I scrolled, seen it on Crime and the D, but I didn't really touch off into it. But I believe that they just found, he was with a young child in the vehicle.
What about the young lady who caught a plane here, rented out an air, B&B?
Oh yeah, for the little boy.
For the little boy.
Yeah.
So we have to protect our young people
That's a sickness.
on every level.
That's a sickness because a drug addiction that can be cured, or I mean not cured, because it can be. You can go get counseling for it, or
You can learn ways to cope with.
yeah, you can wake up and just go cold turkey one day if you want to. But that sexual desire to have,
So once you put them in jail and they get out,
that's not gonna help.
it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. If you like, I love women.
Mm-hmm.
That's not gonna change. I'm not gonna wake up one day and be like, oh, I don't like women no more. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So, with that being said, I'm gonna love women until the day that I pass away. They're
there-
gonna like children
To the day.
to the day that they pass away. Simple as that.
When you think about prevention of a lot of the sexual abuse or the grooming process, what can we do as parents and people in society that, as much as possible, we can keep our children safe?
I honestly don't know. Only thing that I can think of is doing what we've been doing. Well, when my children do what I've been doing, and that's just keeping them aware of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable between children and adults.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a situation a couple weeks ago with my son, and he got in trouble because one of his teachers told him to do something, and he didn't do it, or he wasn't quick to do it. He was, just taking his time to do it. So
Like most young people.
Teacher had to tell him again, like, yo, do this. So when I picked him up from school later on that day, I asked him, like, yo, what's the problem? Well, you know what I'm saying? How was your day in school? He told me, like, yo, I thought such and such was being sarcastic.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a grown man. You're not in a position to think that an adult is being sarcastic with you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Once an adult tell you to do something that you know is right, you do it. Don't question, don't BS, don't play no games with that adult. Just get to it.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, adults, need to stop playing with children, or with me personally, I don't get friendly with kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I greet them. I ain't finna pick you up, be playing with you. I'm not doing that, because it's a thin line.
You have to just make sure that everything is always on an up and up.
Yeah.
For me, and I don't want to make it seem like, okay, as a parent, you can't do what you want with your child. You can't dress your child the way you want because it's your child. Mm-hmm. But I caution parents, especially, little girls.
Yeah.
But now, it's the boys too. But even with young girls, I scroll through Facebook and I see young ladies from the age of 2 and 3 all the way to 17 and 18. And it's almost like, what are we doing to our young ladies? We're making them so sexually subjective.
Yeah. And what
little girls would weave down their back, short shorts where they, and they get it from their mama.
Exactly.
When they take a picture, the first thing they do is turn around so you can see their butt.
Yep.
They poke their lips out. Mm-hmm. We have to be careful in a sense, because you never know the sickness that the next person has.
What might be cute to you is sexual to a predator.
That's right.
Simple as that.
That's right.
So
I'm
let the children be children. Let the children dress appropriately
for their age.
Yes, for their age.
The clothes are even sexually have shifted, where they're now sexually suggestive.
Yep.
You can't go, for the most part, and get a really nice outfit for a young lady without the shirt being cropped, without, the pants being raised, extra high. And I remember when I was a kid, I was always like really shy, so I didn't like to be seen. Mm-hmm. When I got to the age where, puberty set in and, things began to happen, I would wear like 2 and 3 shirts so nobody can see that,
you was developing,
yeah. And I did that because I didn't want attention.
Right.
But you had other, my cousins and stuff like that, they had where back then they had the I don't know what they called them. They like little halter top shirts, but it was like no strings or whatever. And the little girls and the little boys used to like to play, and they chase you and then they pull your shirt down. Mm-hmm. It's no straps, no nothing. Yeah. When I got to a certain age, I gave a synopsis of it in my new book, Life Happens. I had an uncle that now as an adult, mm-hmm. I can look back and see where the grooming process started.
Okay.
Where if we go to the store, it was always, you can get more, which may have been, they get a 25-cent bag of chips. I like you more, so you get $1 bag of chips.
Right.
And and a little juicy.
Right.
Where it's time for, everybody in the house to take a bath, you play a little bit longer, you take your bath later. Mm. I can see the, a lot of the touching of the shoulder, the rubbing, of the shoulders and stuff like that. I can see that little stuff like that you don't pay attention to. Why is Uncle Bob so invested in your child? Mm-hmm. And you just think, oh, Uncle Bob loves her. That's his favorite niece. Pay attention to that, although it may not be anything, but it can be something.
Yeah, you still got to pay close attention to it.
I remember when my child was first born, I had this guy, grown man, always said, oh, I'm a babysitter. I'm like, dude, why do you keep calling and asking to babysit my child?
Right.
That's setting red flags. That's setting red flags. And I'm like, go dig a ditch. You're not babysitting my child.
Right.
I got to the point where with me and my children weren't allowed to spend a night out because I know what went on in my house, but I don't know what goes on in anybody else's house.
That's how I am.
And unfortunately, you can't take a child's innocence back.
Right.
You know, and I wish that at the time, the adults that was around me would have paid more attention. Mm-hmm. You know, especially because he was of an age where always volunteering to babysit us, watching us. You know, even at that time, even volunteering to comb the girls' hair in the family.
Yeah.
You don't think that people who are supposed to protect you will be the ones that hurt you.
Right.
And you spend your life, you know what I'm saying? You spend your life trying to pull your life together.
Yeah.
And you make decisions based off of that.
Right. Yeah, you're not, I haven't been sexually assaulted, but I was physically assaulted, by my old dude. And, that played a role with me. It plays a role throughout my life today.
Yeah.
It affects me with how I interact with men. I don't trust men. I don't really like men too much, to be honest with you. But I'm respectful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. But
it bothers you mentally, and even when you go through what you have to walk in, healing, it's still there.
Yeah.
You just learn how to cope with things or whatever. Because I know even as a young lady, and as a woman now, I didn't do a lot of the things that my friends did. I've always, and maybe because of what I went through, not just with my uncle, I was date raped. So when people say, well, you don't go out on dates, you don't, because I haven't told anybody. Right. Well, till recently the book came out. I just don't trust, certain people where, come to my house.
Right.
I've always been not just overly protective of my children, I'm overly protective of myself.
As you should
because
be.
Everybody's attentions is not good.
Right.
A lot of people say, you got to loosen up. Why you don't do this? Why you don't do that?
You got your
I have my reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm real good with now being able to, and I think I was then, being able to discern if it doesn't feel right, I'm good. Mm-hmm. And I'm not letting fear stop me per se from moving forward. I'm just cautious, because it's so much stuff happening.
It is, and it will drive you insane, that fear will paralyze you.
It will.
That fear will paralyze you from living life.
Do you think that with a lot of these women who have went through or have attached themselves to the Me Too movement, we talk about the Bill Cosby situation where I think it was 14 years that young lady came forth. I don't think people, and I do believe that how can I say this? Because I want to be respectful of myself and other people.
If that's what you were trying to get at. I'm sorry. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that they should have got charged, especially if it was a decade ago, because how would I know you got molested? I can't get the
DEA. You can't get the
DNA.
DNA.
Off of you. I haven't touched you in years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So how do you know? And for this whole story coming up with the R. Kelly thing, if the women that spoke, I think if it wasn't within these 5 years to 2, matter of fact, a year, I don't think that he should have even been in jail that long. I mean, I'm not saying that I agree with him, but I feel like y'all should have came forth at that time.
And that's why I say I want to be respectful of myself and other victims. When I got raped, I was able to call my best friend, and she came over, and we called, at the time, we called my youth pastor. And, he told her, hey, you got to take her to the doctor, so that they can examine her or whatever. So for me, I was able to go and get a rape kit, so that when and if I decided to move forward with prosecution, they had, the DNA.
Yeah.
And I just think that although it's extremely hard to have to relive that, because not only do you have to divulge certain stuff to the, the person that you trust, then when you get to the doctor, you have to, say your story like numerous times. And then once the police get there, they question you numerous times. And then, they bring you back to, sex crimes where they're questioning you, but it's almost like they're interrogating you.
Right.
Because they want you to tell the truth, but it's no compassion. They've been doing it so long. There's no sensitivity there. The way they ask you to question, it's almost like they don't give you time to breathe. They don't give you time to process the question, to, answer it. It's like, okay, if you're not lying, let's go. What happened? So I'm saying all that to say, I really believe that although it's tough, you have to pull yourself together to get the authorities involved as soon as possible. Because, like with Bill Cosby, 14 years,
it should be
that leaves a lot of question, and then it becomes his word against your word.
Yeah. And 90% of the time, people are going to take the victim side. Mm-hmm. Unless it's a woman, unless the roles are reversed and it's a woman that's the accuser. I mean, that's the, not the accuser, but the one that's trying to do the rape. The suspect.
The predator, yeah.
Yeah, the predator. I'm sorry. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
I feel they waited.
I just think it should be a statute of limitation.
Because it's not murder.
And although we do have one in Michigan, most statutes of limitation is like 10 years. That's a long time.
That is ridiculous. Like, I could say GB raped me.
Yeah.
We already know that's a lie.
I could say GB raped me, and it's only who gonna believe it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I could say she did it 10 years ago.
Exactly. We have a statute of limitation for a reason, because it does give the victim time to, I caution women, I caution men. If it happened, muster up enough strength to initially get it out. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that, and I believe that they should pay for what they did.
A lot longer than what they've been paying for. I think them laws, we need to get one of these young black males in office to rewrite and change some of these laws. Because the laws are set, everybody know the laws set up for us to fail.
Yeah.
And that's not one of our crimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's one of them other people's crimes.
But do you think it's more of a vindictive crime for certain people? When I say that, if something happened to me, I wait for like the Weinstein incident. Let me use that for an example. One of the victims who alleged that he sexually violated her went on to continue to work with him.
Right.
Have business with him. Mm-hmm. And at some point she decided, me too,
and that
for
was
whatever reason.
That was after other victims came forward.
Well after other victims have come forward.
If it had been in the beginning, after maybe the first victim, because here's the thing.
Because I don't know, some victims will get the strength to come forth because other people have come forth.
That's what I was about to say.
But not because, oh, now I'm relieving you of your duties. You know, I'm firing you, or I'm saying, hey, you just no longer fit the position that you're in, and all of a sudden you're mad and like, oh, you remember when you touched the small of my back, or
right. That's why you got to be very careful about things that you do.
And that's why I'm saying, what is it? Some things that women and men can do to protect themselves, because right now what I'm seeing is a lot of professional men, corporate men, they're not hiring women like they used to anymore.
Okay.
They're not secluding themselves in a room with women to protect themselves and protect them.
That's understandable.
Which is a great idea. I know when I first started going through ministry school, one things they told us when we were counseling people, never counsel the opposite sex alone.
Right.
You know, if you have to have an office that have a glass where when people walking by, they can see.
What's going on, yeah.
You know, if you can get a consent form for someone else to sit in. You know, now we have to think of ways to make sure that we're protected, especially if you at a certain age. Well, not certain age, I'm sorry, at a certain financial level. You know, you see it with a lot of these rappers and actress and actors. You know, it's no longer okay to pick up a girl from your concert and invite her back to your hotel room.
Here's the thing, and I know it varies with position.
Yeah.
So.
And most time color too.
That's true, but if I'm an artist, and if I'm in the entertainment business, I'm gonna. For one, I feel like a lot of men don't know how to be professional. That's just what it is.
I don't know if it's so much they don't know how to be professional. I think that there's things that's going on within them that they can't just see a beautiful woman and not engage.
Sometimes they don't even engage. The women throw themselves on them.
Oh, no. More than not. You got women that are very aggressive. I know a lot of women that are very aggressive, and it's almost like, if you don't sit your tail down.
I know a lot of aggressive women as well. But here's the thing. If you're a man of respect, you're going to get that respect from the opposite sex and from the same sex. But what we're talking about as far as women being aggressive, I see a lot of aggressive women up here.
Yep.
And,
yeah.
You know, I've heard
they have no chill. They have no chill within them.
I've heard women say like, "Yo, we won't even play with you because we see that you know you got a lady and you respectful. We could see that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, like I'm even."
But as a man, you still have to be cautious because,
and that's what I'm about to say.
With the way that women throw themselves, because listen, guys, let me just say this. My co-host, he's not bad on the eyes at all. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, I
he's
appreciate
handsome. So even when he's engineering, there is a lot of women. I mean, I am today, you know, excuse me, whatever. But there's a lot of women that come in here that are half dressed, not dressed. And if he didn't have the self-discipline that he has, it's too easy to get in trouble.
Yeah, very easy.
You know, and that goes for, that's why I'm so cautious with, you know, when it comes to men that are in a position that it can affect their life. You know, I talk to my sons all the time. Every woman that reach out to you, every woman that throw herself at you, don't mean that you have to respond.
Yeah.
If they doing that, that's not the woman that you want to be with.
Yeah. A lot of times you have to question it, and it's so bad to the point now that I even be skeptical about giving women hugs.
Yeah.
You know?
I always give people hugs, but I always do the side hug. And I get a lot of flack. I don't know what that was, people.
It was just, it was clap. It was like, period.
I get a lot of guys saying, "Oh, what kind of hug is that?"
You ain't getting no real one.
I do the church hug. I hug from the side because when you do a real hug, it's like breastplate to breastplate, and it's more intimate.
I'm trying to put something else on you if I'm giving you a real hug.
You know, then you're going to be trying to kiss. Yeah.
I don't know.
They're going to be trying to kiss you on your neck and all up in your ear, and you have to be like, okay, brother, thank you. You know, so no, I mean, seriously, with this Me Too, we as women and as men, we have to be responsible. We have to protect ourselves. We have to cover ourselves. We have to make sure that our name and our character is held to a higher standard.
Exactly.
One of the young men's, what is it? I don't want to call the wrong name. I don't want to. Is it Chris Rock? I'm not Chris Rock. Chris, what's the name? Brown?
Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm. Is it him? Is it him that's going through some charges that are on the table?
Trey Songz.
Trey Songz.
Trey Songz, because he pulled that white girl titty out.
Accusations.
But it's quite a few. And
yeah,
it's
and that's
been
what I
saying
heard.
It's been going on for years and years.
And I like Trey Songz.
After the first one, do you not readjust the way you think, how you approach women, how you let women into your space to say, okay, you know what?
But
even if you think in your mind, oh, they're out to get me.
But here's the thing. He been doing that for a long time. I'm not talking about.
It's been reported.
I'm not talking about
allegedly.
I'm not talking about the accusations. I'm talking about being around women.
Yeah.
And in his position, I'm pretty sure several women that throw themselves at him, and it's hard to filter out who's on that and who's really on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, as a man in a position of power, you just gotta play. You gotta play your cards right. We all know what they did to Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Do you think Tupac raped that young lady? I don't.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying?
But I wasn't there either.
Exactly.
I got money. What I need to rape you for?
You know, but it has nothing to do with money.
What about Mike Tyson? You think Mike Tyson did it?
When you talk about sexual assault, it has more to do with power than it has to do with, financial status.
That's true.
The power that they're taking from you.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that we have to be careful. I say it and I keep saying it. We have to adjust the way that we encounter each other. We have to adjust the way that we watch our children, how we dress our children. I thank God all the time that I don't have a daughter. Although, oh my God, I would have loved a daughter. Mm-hmm. But God knew what was best because she would be joined at my hip. I mean, she literally would be glued to me.
And that's sad that we have to have it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I see young ladies. I was down at the Renaissance Center, and I'm walking through, and I seen this young lady and this young man. She couldn't have been no more than maybe 15, 16, walking through Renaissance, and he's like hugging up on her. He's rubbing, her backside. He's just touching her. Like, it's totally inappropriate. Mm. As a mother, I said, sweetie, come here. Let me talk to you. She said, huh? I said, come here. I said, let me say something to you. I said, you a young lady. You don't let a man treat you like that. Mm. What? I said, would you be behaving the same way if your mother was standing right here? No. I said, you a young lady. I said, you never let a man bring you out in public and grope you the way that he's groping you. I said, you just don't do it. I said, you have to have some standards, about yourself. I said, the way that you allow him to treat you is the way that he's going to treat you.
Right.
if you have standards, he will, you know what I'm saying, he will uphold to those standards.
If not, you gotta go.
I said, so act like your mother is here and make him treat you like your mother is here until you get enough strength to say, don't treat me like this.
Right.
I mean, because he literally, I watched him for a second, he literally backed her into a corner. And it was the beginning of a
R. Kelly song.
a porn. I almost lost it. So I told her, I said, do you understand what I'm saying? She said, yes, ma'am. I said, so have fun. I don't want you not to have fun. I said, but respect yourself and make him respect you.
Exactly.
She said, thank you. And then when she walked away, I heard him say, what'd she say to you? She said nothing. He said, no, what did she say to you? She said, she told me to respect myself and make you respect me.
All right.
So he was like, oh, man, you know, he was making a little noise or whatever. So he went to, you know, grab her up and kiss her. She was like, you know, she pushed him away or whatever. And I looked at her and I gave her a little nod and a smile. And she smiled back. We have to also step in and talk to our young ladies. If you know, downtown, and some young ladies don't want you to say nothing to them.
That's true.
So you got to design.
You gotta take the right approach.
Yeah.
It's all about approach.
Yo, don't embarrass them, because if you embarrass them,
They're gonna try to embarrass you.
They gonna act a fool.
Yeah.
Pull them to the side and say, "Hey, sweetie,"
Yeah.
you know, whatever it is.
And you got that voice, so you can talk to.
Okay, right.
You can soothe anybody. So, so, you know.
I want us to do better. This whole Me Too thing is growing by the day.
We got to do better as people.
We got to stop sexualizing each other.
That's gonna be hard, but we have to.
They pushing sex.
That's all they
Everything is sex.
That's all they push.
You can't even get a candy bar or watch a candy bar commercial without it being sexualized. Can I just get my Snicker?
Yeah.
Why you got to be, salivating all over the candy bar? You know?
That's what sells. That's what sells.
So I want men to be careful,
Be more respectful.
of us women.
And
If we say
themselves.
no, we mean no. It's not no for right now. If we say that, we're not into stuff like that, we're not into stuff like that. Don't try to force. And this is not just for men to women, but this is for women to men.
Yeah.
If you see a young man and he has a level of respect about himself, leave that dude alone. Leave him alone.
Level up or leave them alone.
Level up or leave him alone.
Simple as that. And that goes for both
All
sides.
guys don't want to see all your breasts out or your butt out.
I do.
If they see it, that mean everybody's seeing it.
That's true. We got men that, I like it, Miss Carmen. I like it, Carmen, but I ain't.
But it's visual. But is that the person you taking home?
No.
I did. I ain't gonna lie, I did.
You did?
Yeah, I
What
did.
about now?
Yeah, that's still my woman.
Okay, but I'm saying you took her home and kept her.
Yeah, I took her home with Capper, but
That's sad.
it don't always work out like that. I just like,
For the most part, it don't.
But here's the thing. Men have to realize this. Just because a woman dresses a certain way does not mean that she
she's
lacks
inviting you.
respect or that you could just go touch, do whatever it is that you want to do to her. So, if I'm walking around with my shirt off, I still demand respect. So,
I had a young man I was talking to about treating women like queens.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally got into a heated debate because his thing was, if they're not acting like a queen, why do I have to treat them like a queen? If they are what they classify as a
304.
why would I treat her like a queen? I said, sometimes women don't know what's inside them until you show them.
That's true, because it's been situations where I've known women to be out there, and then when they meet a young man such as like myself, they want to settle down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I ain't trying to do all that no more. I just want to mess with you. So
Yeah.
it just a lot
But
of times.
sometimes if they never been respected and then they get a dude that respect them, opening up doors, pulling out chairs, is willing to wait until she's comfortable, or wait until they both mutually agree. she doesn't realize, man, this dude like me for me, not for what, I'm flaunting or whatever. All dudes ain't like that. Most men are visual. And
but
most women are visual.
At the same time, I'm visual, but I also like to get to know what's in your mind. So if we can't have no intellectual conversation, then you can't get in too much of my time. Simple as that. I don't care how beautiful you are and easy on the eyes you are. If I can't talk to you and have a decent conversation, if I come to you with a problem, you can't help me come up with a solution, then it's no need for me to,
So give us some quick points on how to keep, as a young man, how you would keep yourself safe from becoming part of the Me Too movement, as far as the predator.
Well, like I said, I just I stay respectful. If I do flirt, it's not intentionally. But like I said, just stay respectful. That's really all I could say. If I was anything other than respectful, it'd be easily seen. So, as far as me, with that Me Too, I don't think I could be involved in that as far as getting accused of anything, because
you don't put yourself in that position.
It's not my character, So, and then on top of that, with all honesty, I think women be wanting men more than the man want the woman. So if you just be a little patient, you know what I'm saying? You'll get everything that you want.
Absolutely.
Everything that you want.
Absolutely. And for women, real quick, just be respectful. Respectful of his space. Respectful of your space. If he tells you, whatever it is, take it for what it's worth. Let me say this to women. Not all times, but 99.9999% of the time. If he's inviting you to a hotel room, he's not inviting you there to have crumpets and tea. You know what I'm saying? If all you've been doing is sexting, sex texting, or whatever they call it.
Sexting.
Know that it breeds something inside of a person. So when they see you, that's what they are on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't got them to that point. Yep. Be careful. If you go out, watch your drink. Do not leave your drink unattended. If you're with someone, a young lady, ask her to hold it, especially in the men too.
Treat it like boxing. Protect yourself at all times.
And make them treat you the way that you want to be treated. Yep. So I just pray that moving forward, we learn how to respect each other.
Exactly.
And prayerfully as young men and young women, because we're seeing women now going after younger men, you won't find yourself a part of the Me Too as a predator. And to all the Me Too victims, we're praying for you.
Exactly.
We're praying that God gives you a clear mind and strength to get through this, what you're going through, and that you even have the strength to go through the court proceedings.
Exactly.
And we're lifting you up in prayer, and we have your back. And for women who have been sexually violated, tell someone, and let one of your friends give you the strength that you need to take it to law enforcement so that it can be handled. Until next Saturday, this is Detroit Table Talk.
Detroit Table Talk. Shout out to GB on the engineers. She did her thing. And also, catch me and Joe Sprague's new single out on all streaming platforms, Deja Vu to Me. Check us out next. Thank you. I appreciate that. Check us out. Check me and Carmen out every Saturday at 5 o'clock on Detroit Table Talk.
Peace.